Hi friends, it's Candy here and welcome to my channel where I share with you my budget and my adventures in attempts to live a more frugal and intentional life. I release my videos every other Monday at 8 p.m. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go over my February paycheck number 2 budget. Today will be a little bit different because I have some exciting news to share. So as you can see here, you can see our paycheck number 2 comes to us on the 15th of the month. We got paid $1,990.99. And so with that, I pay our bills. So the first bill that I like to pay is our Citibank payment on 2/15. This month I only had to pay $224.70. This is payment 1 of 2 to get this $449.39 paid down before March 6th, I believe. And so this is down from last month because as you can see over here, we ended up having to pay $583.64. So a pretty significant difference. These payments right here were for a lot of Christmas expenditures. So that's why that bill was so high. And so as you can see over here, it has gone down. So next up on 2/18, I paid for a bill that came in for vision care or eye care, as I labeled it here. My husband had to go have an eye exam and he had to get some new glasses. So I think this is the part that we still owed them from the eye exam. So I paid them $39, which this is not a typical bill that we have. So that's why it's so important to make a new budget for either each month, each pay period, however you get paid, because sometimes expenses like this come up, and rather than trying to charge it on a credit card, you can just go ahead and cash flow it because you've worked it into your budget. Okay, next up is our auto insurance. And this stayed the same from last month. It's $128.60. And so speaking of automobiles, let's go to our next line item, which is my vehicle. Now, I actually was able to give the full payment for my car this month. The reason being is because my husband was able to sell a piece of farm equipment that we inherited. And so, guys, I just can't express how excited I am that I've finally paid my car off. It's just amazing. And the reason we never considered selling this piece of equipment before was because it was very sentimental to my husband. It was something that his dad owned before him, and so he had a hard time letting it go. But finally, he saw the value, that it would bring more value to our family if he did sell it. And luckily, guys, he got to sell it to a friend of his, like an old co-worker that he had worked with for a very long time, and they were good friends. And so he can go see the tractor anytime. His friend says he can ride it anytime he wants to. And so that's always good, especially if it's something with sentimental value. If you can sell it to somebody that that will take good care of it, then you couldn't ask for a better way to enrich your life as well as somebody else's life. So, guys, I have paid my car off. I am so excited. And, that's going to bring our debt total way down, but we'll get to that in a minute. That's why I have this blocked off up here so we can really see where we're going to land in just a few. So let's move on. Let's go to our next bill. AT&T, guys. So you guys have known, if you've watched any of my other videos, AT&T is our standalone internet. We pay $55 a month for that for, I believe, 50 megabytes per second upload speed, which is, you know, it works for us, but lately it has not been working so great for us because apparently we need a new modem or a router or whatever this little thingamajigger is called over here that helps run the internet. So, apparently ours is outdated and it needs some new, I guess we need an upgrade. So they're going to send us a new one. And I did ask them when I called if we are getting the best rate for the particular service that we're using right now. And they advised that yes, this is the best rate because normally it's $75, which I had a hard time believing that. That seems pretty pricey to me. But they said because we're loyal customers, we are getting a $20 discount every month. So this is the best that they can offer us. I don't know if we will look for somewhere else. I mean, like I said, we've been loyal customers and I like to remain loyal to, you know, if they've provided good services in the past, you know, I like to remain a loyal customer. And so, you know, we'll just see. I mean, I may still look into alternatives, but for now, they're trying to resolve the issue that we've been having with, you know, it not quite pinging with the right upload speeds, and it just, you know, we'll just sit there sometimes and say loading, and, you know, it's just quite annoying, especially if you're trying to watch a show or if the kids are in the middle of, God forbid, one of their games and it starts lagging. So anyway, I'm sure some of you feel my pain when your kids' games start messing up and they're like getting upset because their computer game is lagging. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if you can feel my pain on that. So the next one is Time for Learning. Now, I have this on hold right now. This is my son's typical, or what I was using as his main curriculum. I've been using Time for Learning for at least, gosh, since he was in first grade. And I just now have decided to put it on hold for a bit longer because I'm liking education.com right now and some of the things that they offer. So I've been using them a bit more than Time for Learning lately. And the only reason I continue to pay this $5.99 is so that they can hold my son's records so that they can retain them. But I may decide by the end of this year, if not sooner, that I'd rather just go ahead and cancel the service entirely. I'll just go ahead and download and print out all of his records for my records, I guess. So, still trying to decide if I want to do that or not. And there's some news on that front too, that I guess I could share. My son may be going back to public school and doing their virtual learning. So, because that's still an option for us. And I do need to get with the school to make sure that it would still be an option this upcoming school year, because our school offers both a face-to-face and a virtual option. And I think transitioning him back to public school, that the virtual option might be the best option for him if it is still indeed an option for the upcoming school year. All right, moving right along. This is my payment to the gym. I think I'm going to let this go another month because I don't think the weather's quite warm enough yet for me to go for walks in the community like I relayed in my last video. So I think I'm going to keep this until the end of March. So this payment will be the payment for the month of March. And so when it gets closer toward the end of March, I think I'll revisit this and see if I truly want to keep this, or if the weather's nice enough, if I just want to walk in the community, or, just do some body weight exercises at home. And I guess potentially put this on hold from, I believe it would be April to September. I think I can put it on hold for 6 months. So that's what my future plan may be for this. So next up, we have our allowance. This is mine and my husband's allowance that I withdraw in cash. Now, we do pay our children a small allowance, which we normally charge on Citibank, because they normally want to spend their allowance on Robux in the game Roblox. And I'm sure many of you are probably familiar with that online gaming platform. So right here, I withdrew mine and my husband's allowance at $40. And I say it was for me and my husband, but I did not withdraw any allowance for me this time. I only withdrew $40 in cash for my husband. So that's down from even the last paycheck. Normally in the past, I would withdraw $80 so that me and my husband could get $40 in cash apiece. But the reason I didn't withdraw any allowance for myself is because when my husband did sell that equipment, he also convinced his former coworker and friend that he wanted to get me something nice for Valentine's Day. So he convinced him to give him some more money beyond what he sold it for. So he gave me that money. He wanted to get me a nice pair of earrings, guys. I know, isn't that so typical? But I told him I really didn't need any more earrings. Isn't that so funny? Because, I really don't. I like, basically, you know how they say that you use 20% of your stuff 80% of the time? Well, that's how I am. I literally have maybe 10 pairs of earrings, and I literally only wear 2 pairs with any kind of frequency, because they're my favorites. They're just my favorite pairs. So I told him, I said, I really don't need any new earrings right now. So he just let me have the money, and he was like, well, you can just spend it on what you want to. So that's what I did. Ultimately, I ended up spending it on some new body care products from Ulta. I really needed some new face care and just, different makeup products like that. So I ended up spending some of that money on that. And so let's move along, guys. So this GA stands for gas. I like to keep my budget for gas around $40. That's for both mine and my husband's car. We spend about $20 a piece on each car every 2 weeks. So this should be a good budget for the next 2 weeks. And this hasn't gone up or down. I mean, I haven't really had to change this very much. So, I mean, sometimes we might go over by like $1 or $2. So I just keep it as is. I don't really change it up very much, because we typically have a budget buffer in place, which we'll get to down here. Groceries. Groceries still remains at $250. This has still been working very well for us. And this has been our budget for, I guess, the last several pay periods. So, okay, coming down here, here's BB, that's budget buffer. This was what was left in our main checking account before this paycheck hits. So we only had $18.35 left, so that means we underspent by this amount, which is really good. I mean, sometimes it's lower than this and sometimes it's higher than this, but, almost $20 is a pretty good budget buffer, if you ask me. It would have been nice if it had been a bit higher, but, it is what it is, and that's okay. Slush fund. So a slush fund for us is an extra checking account that we have. It's not our main checking account. It's just an extra checking account that I opened for any extra money that we might have after we pay our bills, after we take out allowance, gas, and groceries. So in that fund, we only had $3.74 left before this paycheck hit. But after paying for all this, and let me go back to my car for a second, which we lovingly call Skylar. Now, normally I would pay $662 every pay period on her because she was our debt snowball. Or subtract 662 from this, and that's what I added additional from the sale of that farm equipment to this amount, essentially paying my car off this month. When I calculated all my expenditures, I took the 662 out because that $6,000 that I deposited beyond that was additional money that I don't necessarily have to account for, if that made any sense whatsoever. So with that said, I was able to put $519.45 into the slush fund. Now that's a huge chunk of change, friends, and I could totally put that to our next debt snowball, but guys, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it here. I think if something were to come up, like another unexpected medical expense, which most of the medical expenses I've been getting the EOBs on, and so I've been paying them as they come in. So I'm kind of aware of what we have, and we may need to use some of this money for an upcoming medical bill. My husband just recently had a whole lot of dental work done, and that was pretty pricey. He has already maxed out his deductible. I guess that's what it is. But anyway, his benefits aren't covering anymore. So I think we're going to have to move to a more self-pay route with him. And so we may need some of this money for that. So I'm just going to leave it where it is. And, we shall see how it goes in the future. Now, coming right here, our savings account. So last pay period, it was at $10,075, as you can see there and here. So $492 got added to our account. Now, this $492 came from us filing our 2020 taxes. And so this is the federal taxes that we received at $492. This gives us a grand total of $10,567 in savings. So, guys, we're winning all the way around, and I am so excited for the future. Well, all we're waiting on here then is our state taxes to come in, and that should put us a little bit higher than this. I'm thinking maybe 10,700 or 800 we should have by the time those come in. And I think they should be coming in soon as well because, but they accepted the federal taxes first and then they accepted the state taxes secondarily. So they should be coming in here shortly, guys. So our savings is looking good. Slush fund is looking pretty nice. And so getting the car paid off is amazing. I mean, this totally changes our timeline for things. But let's keep going, guys. So, important dates. 2/15 to 2/17 is our winter break. And I hope all of you had a very wonderful Valentine's Day. But this is the winter break for my daughter and my son. Of course, my son's homeschooled, but I like to try and keep his breaks in alignment with what my daughter's doing in public school. So we did do something fun in the meantime. We mostly stayed at home on the other 2 days. We did go out on the 15th to a local kind of ice cream shop slash arcade. So we went and did that. We had never been there before, so it was a lot of fun. So let me know if you guys did anything fun for Valentine's Day, or if you had a winter break that came up recently. I know a lot of people have been hit by this huge winter storm, and my thoughts and prayers are with you guys. That's I'm sure that's not the kind of winter break you guys would have wanted. I'm for sure that it's not. And so just know I'm thinking about you guys that are out there in this winter storm, especially you guys in Texas. I've been hearing a lot about, you guys having like not enough water, not enough power, just, not enough. And I hope help comes for everybody who's, just not getting what they need right now. So anyway, with that said, let's move on to how we are winning in my household. So I had hidden this up here because I wanted to show you guys that. Okay, guys, we had $36,255 in debt after paycheck one. This is our total debt. And then after paying my car off for $7,038, we are now below $30,000 in total debt. We're at $29,217. And my car is paid off. I couldn't be more pleased about paying my car off and our debt-free journey being accelerated. Now, I want to say just paying my car off took us from being debt-free in 3 years to possibly down to 18 months. Like, it has knocked a significant amount of time off of our debt payment journey. So I am so super excited. Let me know if you have used that before. If you've held on to a sentimental item that you know is worth a good bit of money and you just couldn't let it go until finally something clicked and you're like, this isn't bringing me the value that it used to. And guys, I mean, the person is not in the things that we own. Even though we might have memories of using that item with that person, the memories are what we have. The memories are what's going to stay, the photographs and things like that. So let me know if you have finally something clicked and you're like, I need to get rid of this item, or even if it's not sentimental, and let me know. I would love to hear from you, like what you have sold before. I mean, I've heard some crazy stories about people just selling their houses to get out of debt. So if that's you, let me know. I would love to hear from you. And as always, friends, I hope you're having a great day. Take care. I'll see you next time.